Daisy! Hi, Daisy!
Hey!
Hello,
It's
chat!
Look,
Hello,
chat,
everyone!
you
Welcome!
you may be wondering why we're wearing white and red, perhaps? What the,
Daisy! The blood, it's
sort
the,
of red chroma film was about? It's almost...
You really like it when I, kill a boss in Zelda and then the blood moon comes immediately after. That's
okay,
I
do really like that. I do really like that. But this will not be a Zelda stream this week.
This
week we have a super special episode where we've invited on a guest to help us talk about the Lunar New Year, and also talk about dumplings, and also talk about really cool music research. All kinds of cool stuff is happening. Dom and I are gonna play Mahjong.
And let me tell you, when we are gonna play Mahjong, I have never seen Daisy unlock like when they play this game.
I am ready to trounce. I'm ready to fucking. I'm ready to pong and fucking run all over you.
Yeah. Most of you are just gonna chow. Daisy's gonna run.
I am gonna run all over the place. Some of the
Daisy's
characters are
going to
gonna
become Michelle Yeoh in Crazy Rich Asians and just be the ruthless Mahjong.
Yes, I will
player.
be.
Yeah,
it'll be awesome. Yeah. So we are gonna play that, but we also should warn you that the best version of online Mahjong gameplay with like multiplayer is the furry version. So we're sort of hitting two of my
both the best online and least distracting.
And least distracting. Yes, there are other ones that you could say maybe are better, but this will be the least distracting one. So really, we're combining multiple interests for me here. But it perhaps we should segue into introducing our guest, because this is one of those episodes where we're gonna be like top heavy stream this week. So the first 2 hours we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on, including us playing the game, but most importantly we're going to have a very exciting cooking camera. This is similar to when we had a guest on to make pierogies, right? But this time we're not making
baklava.
Oh, and baklava. We are upgrading and celebrating a tradition of dumpling making alongside Mahjong, alongside also kinds of stuff that we're gonna do. So anyway, without
chat, you're right.
Cooking camera is back. It is going to be awesome, and perhaps without further ado, we should introduce our guest, or have our guest come on screen.
Plural.
Guest. Yeah. Give us just a moment
I'll put him right on the stream. Yeah, chat, say hello to your guests for tonight. We have Dr. Lanlan Kuang and Lanlan's mom, Mrs. Kuang.
Hi.
Surprise! We have guest and mom on the show this week.
I know. And let me just say, the curation, this like table spread and the decor, the tableau is beautiful, and you did this just for the stream, so we really thank you for that, because it's so cool.
Yeah, you're getting ladders already. Ladders in the chat for
people are cheering for you. Yeah, people are cheering for you already. Yeah. Students. Yeah. Hi, students.
You're all her students now.
Yeah, all of.
I know you're out there somewhere. I recognize you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I can't see you.
Not yet, but perhaps later. Lanlan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lanlan. Yeah. Usually, the first thing we ask is, can you tell the chat a little bit about who you are, what you do as a scholar?
Like
where you are.
Right. No. Thank you so much. Once again, like I told Dom and Daisy, Folkwise has been an amazing program, and as a professionally trained folklorist and ethnomusicologist, as I told them, this is really the way. With social media and multimedia production, the way that they curate all the guests and programs, I think this is a brand new direction to take folklore research and folklore studies, and as well as public folklore into a different level. So I'm very honored also to be able to join all the honored guests that have been on to the Folkwise program, and for the Lunar New Year, obviously. This is most exciting. Yeah, so those of you, some of you already know me from taking my course at the University of Central Florida, where I am currently associate professor in the philosophy department. Yay.
I love philosophy.
It's like
Hey.
I
tagging
love
my
Central
colleagues
Florida.
from the University of Central Florida, like
Yeah.
tagging them. It's like, oh, hi. Yes, but I have my PhD in folklore and ethnomusicology from Indiana University, Bloomington. So Dom and I share that same experiences, spending how many years? I spent 10 years in Bloomington.
7.
7? Yeah.
7. So you're catching up. How many
Yeah.
years have you? Daisy, so Daisy, you are in Ohio State, right?
Yes, I'm at Ohio State. This is my year 4.
Year 4.
Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I got a little longer, but
Yeah, we'll
see.
see. We'll see.
We'll
You
see, we'll
speed up quite quickly.
I tried.
So,
Yeah.
so anyway, so that is my background. My training is actually my undergraduate training is in performing arts. Actually, I was a keyboard piano major, music and English comp lit, a double major. That's my undergraduate training. And then obviously probably has something to do with my family history in terms of my father being a playwright and my mom being, this is my mom, Mrs.
Yeah.
Kwang. Everyone say hi.
Hi, Mrs. Kwang. Thank you
yeah.
for being here too, Mrs. Kwang.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And chat says mom moment. So we're having a
people
mom
love
moment in
moms.
chat.
Highlight will be on her when you start making food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? There's only one queen in the kitchen. I feel like that's true for like all culture, but that is true in our family.
In your
culture.
family.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So when she's in the kitchen, I'm like, yeah, go away. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's I've had that experience too. Moms rule the kitchen, so I get it. Yeah.
Right. So I have to sneak in there in order to learn how to make some of the dishes, which we are going to show you together, including the rice cake. We're going to start with rice cake making. But is that? I think that's enough.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say while you get the rice cake started, Daisy, do you want to open the lobby
make
and
our
Mahjong?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me make our game, and you can just go ahead and start right in. And I'm gonna furry game.
这个
Oh, yeah.
base. So should I start the rice cake demo now?
That's perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Okay.
I am actually going to be the apprentice. See me holding up a recipe that my mom wrote out, and then translate it for everyone who.
That's so cool.
Has not made this before. So what we're making today is the brown sugar rice cake. Usually what you see is the white one. So they put white sugar, like normal sugar. But for Chinese New Year, but also for a good taste, like richer flavor and beautiful color, we use brown sugar. So you need 500 grams of sticky rice powder. So or you can say that it's sweet rice. You can find that in any Asian store. I think 50 grams of cornstarch. 150 grams of you can use the Japanese or Thai, whichever brand you can find.
Whichever one,
yeah, exactly. So and then you need a little bit of cornstarch, 50 grams. Okay. Yeah. And then you're gonna need some. I feel like my mom watched too much British cooking show. I
love that show. I've seen it. Yeah.
She knows she's like, here's your brown sugar, 150 grams.
Yeah. Oh, you were measuring ingredients, and then we were just saying that this is like the family folklore recipe. This isn't like a recipe for like it's representative of every person or every family, who's making a Lunar New Year rice cake, right? It's just your family recipe, and so this is very not professional. So some of the measurements, like we can share the recipe with folks too.
So let's just say it's like most of you, this is like mom's dish, right? Everyone has a family secret recipe. So everyone has a little different touch about this. So did they already got the ingredient measurements, or do they need me to repeat them?
They didn't. I don't know if they got them. Yeah. Okay.
I think
now we're back.
I can share them at a later point with folks in our Discord if they want. I'm happy to put the measurements down so like you don't need to read them, but maybe some of the ingredients. So there was like now
we're back.
It's fine. I got it.
Yeah, okay. I was like there was all kinds of stuff. Yeah, maybe you can okay. They said that they heard the last thing that they heard was me asking if the ingredients were typically weighed or if they were like with a cup. But that's okay because I think that your answer to that was like we just eyeball it because we've made this a bunch and we're just a family.
For beginners, we do not recommend eyeballing it. We recommend following the brand measurements I just gave. So just to be safe. So anyway, so this is what it looks like after it's been steamed. And
it's so cute.
For the steamer, we put it for 30 minutes on the steamer for this much. So you have to put it on the steamer after the water is boiled. Do not put it. Yeah, that's a trick. Do not put it when the water is still like cold. Wait until the water starts like have the hot steam going, and then you put it there. So this. So my mom is gonna instead of the plate, right? She's gonna put into a nice bowl.
That's cool.
So you use whatever you can use, like souffle cup if you want to do that in like single portion.
I think I've seen those before where it's just like an individual portion.
Yeah, individual.
I like that it's
I'm not curious because I'm not watching the live stream.
Oh yeah, we are playing Mahjong, and I have jowed twice, and I hope to completely destroy Dom. I have two chows.
Take that.
And Dom just pung.
Okay, so what you say?
Yeah,
I see the Mahjong is on. So you guys are playing Mahjong right now.
Yep.
While my mom and I are continuing to cook in front of the camera.
Yes. And you're seeing Dom's hand. You're not seeing my hand. So
you're seeing my wall,
You're seeing Dom's wall.
So
do you want to see too, Mrs. Kuang?
Now it's time for Mrs. Kuang to demonstrate dumpling making.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so exciting. There's like, we thought it was just gonna be dumplings, and we got rice cake and dumplings. It's so cool.
Yes, because rice cake is
so good.
So this is where I do my course presentation. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
It might be.
So here's a disclaimer for public audience, and I say this to all my students. So being Asian American does not make me an expert on all things Asia. However, what we're sharing with you is obviously me being a professional, professionally trained folklorist and a professional in Asian studies and etc. That gave me some a little bit more knowledge into many different cultural elements and factors and behind some of the events that you're seeing right now. But so that's the public disclaimer. And now my mom is going to start preparing dumplings. So sorry about not being vegetarian for this version, but I can always share a vegetarian version stuffings to those who do not consume, who are vegetarian. So what we're looking at here is 500 grams of flour. Okay, and we need 250 grams of water. Water. And so basically slowly mixing into the bowl. And mom just used her hands because she's awesome.
Yeah.
She's hardcore.
I sometimes part of the dumpling making or even just the mixing process, being able to do it with your hands, that's part of the sharing of the knowledge. At least to me, whenever I cook, part of the knowledge of cooking is using your own hands.
Yes, absolutely. And those of you who have experience cooking fresh pasta or udon at home would know the mixing process would take a little bit of time. And so for this particular recipe that my mom shared, the dough needs to rest for 3 times. So obviously she bought, so we have store-bought dumpling skins that we're gonna demo for the rest because there's no time for us to wait everything. The dough needs to be rest for 3 times, 20 minutes each time, and every single time it's rested, you take it out and you knead them again. Okay. And then to make sure the flour and water is fully mixed and also fully incorporated, so the dough eventually will become elastic. So that's the idea that we want.
That's cool. I've seen other like doughs that they have to rise so long. Like that's such a. It makes me think about how much care you have to put into cooking. Whenever things like take a really long time, especially like the dough for a dumpling that like carries the food, that carries the nutrients in it. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too.
This is mommy's cooking.
Oh,
yeah.
And obviously for the Lunar New Year across Asia, that in all cultures that celebrates it, the Lunar New Year also is a time when everyone has to. This is a time when everyone go home and share meal.
Right.
And right. So just like Thanksgiving in a way in the United States, or the New Year's, right, for Christmas, you go home and for that.
Yeah.
中国南方一般过年是不是专门吃这样？
So what my mom wants to emphasize that we start with the rice cake is because we came from the southern part of China,
对我的小
from
特
Canton,
别
so we speak Cantonese as well. So she's like disclaimer, her dumpling version is slightly tweaked to the taste bud of the southerner. But nowadays, if you actually travel to, I mean, dumplings everywhere nowadays. But in terms of specialization, rice cake is more associated with southern China. And the version that we show you here is the brown sugar, which is sweet rice cake.
Yeah.
However, we actually also eat them as savory, like rice cake soup. And I'm sure you have tried those perhaps in Korean restaurants or you've seen it.
Yeah.
I was just fixing Korean restaurants,
Sell them in Chinese restaurants for different reasons. But Southern China make both savory and sweet version of the rice cake because in the north, the crops that they farm is different than the ones that have more water in the southern part of China. So the type of grains that they produce in the south and the north are different, right? Those of you who study environmental studies or ecological here, or India, that's the food culture associating with how geographic differences have impact on people's way of approaching and designing their cuisines. You use what you have in your surrounding. And so eventually it becomes sort of a tradition and meaningful heritage in the South to make rice cake. Rice cake also has this implication for rising high, 年糕. So 糕 means cake in Chinese. It means every single year you go up a stair, you elevate yourself. So there is also the New Year implication, Greek sort of message behind eating rice cake.
That
so
makes sense. Yeah, it's like that makes sense. It's like you rise into the year. Yeah, that's cool.
Every year, every New Year, you have a better year than the last.
Yeah.
That's the message behind eating rice cake. Yeah.
Just so you know, I just beat Dom.
Lanlan Mahjong updates. Daisy is so good at this game. Daisy just won that. Daisy just played their whole wall that last game.
Okay, so because we cannot wait 3 hours.
Yeah. This is the part that's like a cooking show.
Dumplings from the store where you can all buy it from Chinese, from Asian market or wherever. Just buy dumpling. This is she bought the Hong Kong style. 谁都自己包，所以。对他们可能要讲一下那个打麻将的事情。
Okay.
So what do you guys learn about mahjong?
Daisy is awesome at it, and do not bet against Daisy.
Tell us a little bit about mahjong.
So what? Okay, so Dom and I learned how to play this game. We never played it before.
Our American brains were able to like contextualize it as it's rummy inside of poker, but played with tiles so they don't blow off in the wind on a ship.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So
we were able to get the rules like after I don't know, like an hour and a half.
We figured it out. I mean, there's some this particular game too, and we talked about this a little bit, Lanlan, how like this particular game is like the Japanese version, which is very similar, but it has some different rules, you know. So just again, like Mahjong isn't universal, you know, like there's so many different ways you could play it, and that doesn't even get us close to like the house rules. Like if Dom and I were to invent our own rules, you know.
Did you?
But not yet. I don't think we're good enough yet, but maybe at the end, maybe the second half of the show we will. That'd be fun.
Bunny just called Ricci. Yeah.
Yeah, Ricci, that's an example of one of the Japanese rules that we had to learn too. But we're not as good at that yet. Okay. But we learned basically for people in the chat who are watching this and they're like, I don't know how to play Mahjong or like what you're doing. We're basically trying to find suits. We're just trying to find straights.
Yeah, there's 5 suits. Basically,
so
for chat.
For chat, you can kind of see that there's different. So yeah, instead of 4 suits, there's 5 suits, and you can kind of see them. Starps in chat, hello, says I got schooled at Chinese chess by my dad. And
she
did not
said
play
she saw a lot of
Mahjong
growing up, but never played it. Hey, there's a question about rice cakes in chat. Did you see that?
I was gonna say, there's a couple of questions for you in the chat. Do you mind if we ask some questions?
No, ask questions. Fire away.
Okay.
Go for it.
So people definitely want the recipe and a vegetarian recipe. So we can talk to you about that and share. That's cute. Yeah, and they're saying mom is Master Chef.
Yes.
But it's just really cute.
Oh,
yeah. But DPI Stanley asked, for rice cakes, is it not viable or not useful to use something like arrowroot powder instead of cornstarch, or does it have to be cornstarch?
Oh, actually, okay, that's a good question. Wow, we have experience cooking in the audience.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I mean, when you are doing this in front of experts, that's scary. 有人问说，比如说如果没有玉米粉，是不是有的时候可以用葛根粉代替？
其实可以不放的其实可以不放。
OK，
不放呢就凉了以后比较硬。
OK，
一定要煎。
OK，
如果放呢就凉了以后比较可以不放的。葛根粉不行。
葛根粉 OK。So here is the official answer. Official answer is you do not actually need to put any cornstarch or arrowroot powder in there.
Yeah.
You can use just the sweet rice flour, but the turnout would be when you cool down, it will be harder.
Okay.
That makes sense.
In the store, like they come in blocks. They are much harder because they probably did not put any like cornstarch or any other powder in there. But my mom likes to make it more sticky and soft.
Yeah.
Even when
I like that too.
That's why she put in cornstarch. You don't have to. My recommendation is to try it out though. That's what I do. My brother is going to shout at me because he does by grams. He's different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. She's already starting making the dumpling wraps. So I don't know if you can all see that. 你往前一点点。
Yeah, I think
你在 supermarket 买的皮。
So she will emphasize this is the dumpling skin are purchased from supermarket. This is not the one that we made.
I've got those in like the freezer aisle sometimes.
Yeah,
the freezer. In the freezer aisle.
Here is a very cute dumpling that's
因为这个皮是商店买的，比较难包。
Yeah, it's actually harder to wrap using the store-bought skin because they are a little bit hard. So you use a little bit of water to moist the side.
Is it just it's water? It's not. I've made dumplings before, but they were rice vinegar. This is just water, not rice vinegar that you use to put on the edge of them?
Yes, that's water.
Okay.
但如果自己做的皮就不需要。
Yeah, if you make your own skin, you don't need to use water for them.
Okay.
Because
I didn't know that. Yeah, because it's pliable, it's mushy. You can stick it together easily.
有的人是用白醋去捏它。Yeah, that's gonna change the taste of the dumplings. Or some would use beat up eggs. You can use whatever, like egg wash. Basically, the goal is to seal the pie. You want to make sure it's not gonna leak when you like. So what happened is, so she made 3.
没有，这还有了。
There's more. I make a few more.
说这个比较容易。
So she just wants to let you know that it's easier if you just buy in store, unless you like expert cook and want to do that.
Yeah, it's like the trade-off is it's easier, but there's more love in it if you make it yourself, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, continuing on what we were talking about the Spring Festival. Like, for instance, everyone is going home from, no matter where, a lot of people are working far away from home nowadays. They don't, they do not live in the same geographic region.
Yeah.
So for people in China, during the first week of like right before the Lunar New Year, you are expecting this year, I have actually the number down, 81 million.
Wow.
81 million, not people, 81.55 million railway trips.
Whoa, that's a lot.
This year.
This week? This year? Wow.
This 1 week.
This week.
Just imagine. And this is because, so thanks to the railway network they have here. Yeah. So
truly. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. Otherwise, nobody's can afford all the flight tickets and So this is what it looks like after 20 minutes. This is after first rest. It's done. So she's, she's kneading it again. We need another 20 minutes for it to rest.
不然一会儿那个皮一擀它就裂。
Okay, so otherwise the skin is going to break off when you. Do we have any questions so far about that?
There isn't a question, but somebody's very shocked about that many railroad.
There's a good question in chat.
Oh, there is. Did I miss it? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, Starp says, is this an inappropriate question? I don't think so. In 2019, for the Year of the Pig, we prepared a suckling pig for the first time. It's about to be the Year of the Dragon. How would you cook a dragon if it were possible, and what parts would be the best?
I think dragon
is that
bacon.
A question to ask like a food folklorist to answer?
Dragon bacon.
We can tell you who it is later. Dragon bacon. Yeah. We can tell you who it is later.
Dragon belly, like pork belly.
Oh, that would actually be pretty good. Dragon. Because I bet that
今年是龙年，他们说龙的哪一部分
scales
好像有一个这个
There's
说法
gotta be medicinal. No, but they're medicinal. They gotta be, right?
They're the
They
scale.
do. That's a valid question. If they're gonna be taking my Asian related courses, well, not this one. But associating with the idea of ancient time, the emperor, some of the emperors, starting with the Qin emperor, they want to live forever, longevity. Right? You want to live forever.
Yeah.
So the idea of certain rare, like, this might be inappropriate, especially for vegetarians in the audience. So, but we're talking history. We're talking about mythological, lessons. It's like alchemies, right? Alchemy believing unicorn, like in Europe, they believe unicorn blood or unicorn.
Yes,
right?
And they take
they have
the stories about
power of making someone revive or something.
Yeah.
So similarly, the dragon meat, or those of you who are in my current course that reads The Monkey or Journey to the West would know that the monk, all the monsters are going after the monk because consuming his meat. I'm sorry, this is
no, it's true. Yeah.
So if you are on anthropological research, you might want to take the same mythological approach to reading cannibalism, right?
Yeah.
But that is tied to religious in terms of what religion will actually consider consuming unicorn or dragon or monk in order to achieve longevity.
It makes me think of the narwhal whale tooth as being passed off like the unicorn, or even just I don't know, elephant tusks being ground down, or the ivory. For medicinal purposes. It's very sad to a certain extent, obviously, but once again, we are talking on a scholarly format. We're talking about historical. Yes, historical. This is
legends surrounding certain unicorns.
People in the chat seem to be very intrigued by dragon belly bacon. So, like a pork belly, if you were gonna have.
They have so much faith on dragon being juicy and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my mom is gonna demonstrate. Wait.
Yeah.
No. So I'm gonna read you the stuffing recipe.
Perfect. Yeah. For what's inside.
Okay. So sorry about vegetarian. I can tell you a little bit different ones. So what she used in the stuffing is 1 pound of ground pork. You can substitute with beef, obviously, but the outcome will be different because different pairings. So pork match best with okay, this is 3-4 pounds of Chinese cabbage. Okay, you need to chop them up so they can like, and 3 onions, like green onions, scallions.
Scallions, yeah.
And we need a little bit of ground ginger. We need a little bit of cornstarch. And we need 5 grams of corn oil or vegetable oil. Like, do not use like fragrant ones, or you can use a little sesame oil, I guess, but use mainly cooking oil. And a little bit of ground white pepper with salt to taste, soy sauce to taste, and cooking wine. That's what's in the stuffing for today.
That sounds so good. So there are 2 questions in the chat related to dumplings.
Yes.
One is, do you think that like steamed versus pan fried dumplings, like one is they say like more is one of them like more correct, or like is one of them preferable, is one of them
他们在问说锅贴和煮的哪一个比较好？
如果自己和的面是煮的比较好，因为它不容易裂。
OK。
锅贴最好是薄一点的皮会比较好。
OK。
但是都可以做。
OK。
只不过我们家如果是要煮的就自己做皮，如果是要锅贴就去买那个薄一点的皮，就会好吃。薄一点的皮会好吃。
Now so my mom's official answer is, to her knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
Cooking. If you are making the dumpling from the dough that you make yourself, and the skin is, you obviously most of the time are slightly more elastic and thicker than the store-bought one, which is made by machine. So those are fresh, and you want them to either you can boil them, or there are places that you can also steam them. But boiling is the preferred.
You should boil them.
If you make the skin yourself.
Yes.
But if you want to do the pan fried one, the store-bought skin would probably work a little bit better because the skin is
yeah.
And it's harder. So it won't break so easily. Yeah. So if you make your own skin, it's really soft. You want them to drop into the water very slowly, but you come out much more tastier.
Yes.
And you really also want it's like making fresh noodles. You don't want to fry fresh noodle. You want them in a bowl of noodles too, because you can also consume the starchy, it's like making pasta. Use
exactly.
Pasta. Yeah, pasta water to mix the pasta.
Yeah, you make the pasta. That makes sense.
So,
there's so much I can relate to on a pasta level in this.
I was gonna say on a pierogi level.
面食是特别专业
又来了，已经说过了，你不要再说了，你再说也没有用，因为他们不会相信你的讲。Okay, she's trying to highlight the fact that we are from the South.
Yeah.
She'll probably do it differently than us.
Oh, sure.
So I'm trying to tell her that you're the expert here, regardless. So
yeah, you're an expert on your family.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an expert on how you do it in your family.
Yeah, it's really funny because I do field work mostly in Northwest China. In the past 10 years.
So different. Yeah.
Yeah. So my culinary preferences, it's really a mix in comparison to my mom. Like I can handle real spicy food. My mom cannot because she's from the South. Which really spicy food is more connected with North, and also especially in geographically, let me see, in the Midwest, well, like 湖南应该算是中南地区，湖南算是中部南部，算南方，应该是算南方。对呀、已经其实应该是南方 ，East 不是特别北的。Yeah, so in the central area, because of the weather, it rains a lot in those areas. So they use, okay, that goes into traditional Chinese medicine, which I'm not going to do.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that is too much.
That's too much.
Anyway, so she cannot handle spicy. I can handle spicy.
Yeah. Speaking of not spicy. We're spicily approaching time for us to turn over to go to the interview. We have about 5 minutes left. Just wanted to say,
but there's a couple more dumpling questions.
There's a couple more dumpling questions.
Please.
Okay.
My mom is right. Like,
yeah. So there's
exactly.
like two. So there's two.
Wait, Daisy. Oh. Run! Finally, I got you! I finally got you!
Damn it!
I finally beat Daisy!
I
was really close. Dang. That was funny.
Okay, sorry. I had to gloat on that I beat Daisy.
Demonstrate like rolling the skin.
Oh yeah, just like rolling it up. Cool. Okay, so the two questions. So they're both about the stuffing. So the first one is if you know whether or not like the plant-based meat, like if that is a good substitute, or is it better to just use tofu or vegetables?
其实什么都可以包的，比如说他们就在问能不能用素肉来包那个馅。
可以，什么都可以放的。
Okay,
海鲜也行。
Okay, so
anything，喜欢什么就包什么。
My mom did not have time to like go into details, but I can tell she basically said you can use whatever stuffing that you wanted to use.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
In terms of making a meatball. Obviously you do not want, if you use tofu, right? You do not want to use, you want to make sure there's not too much liquid in there.
The liquid is the key part.
You want to make like soup dumpling, that's a different method.
Yeah.
It's different.
Actually, start with making a jelly like of the soup.
It's different, yeah.
But if you're making like, she just make a dumpling skin.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so this is the little professional rolling pin.
Very professional, yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
这个皮擀了要旁边稍微薄，中间厚一点。
Okay, so the trick is to make sure the center is thicker and the side is thinner. Because you want to like close the rim. You want them to be thin so they don't taste like really thick and hard when you cook them.
So I've gotten some from the store before, like the frozen one. I never thought and those are perfect, the same.
That's why it's
width the whole way.
Difficult.
Right, that makes more sense. And every time I've had friends over, we make a big dumpling day when we fold them together, and people are like, "This is so hard," and it's hard because we didn't make the dough, so I'm making the donuts.
Yeah.
And I am like using. Now I understand why.
So just using the
自己擀的皮就很容易包。
So it's much easier to fold because it's soft. The skin is just softer from the fresh dough.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't need to go around like this, but you can just squeeze them close because they're so soft.
It's just so soft.
That's why they look in different shapes, even when the same person made them. And there are also so they also look like the shape of yuanbao, which means those gold drums, money. Basically, it looks like symbolized money.
In
ancient time. So this is why also people use eat dumplings for the New Year. And so going back to the stuffing, what I want to emphasize is do not use. Make sure you use what's the hardest tofu out there? Not
the firm, extra firm.
Use
Extra firm.
extra firm. Use extra firm.
用老的豆腐。
Use extra firm tofu if you want to use that.
Yeah.
And alternative would be the glass noodle, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The ones that So if you once I said, Lunar New Year is shared around all the regions in Asia and also beyond. And some different cultures have different ways of making their food associated with Lunar New Year. And even for dumplings, if you go to Korean, right, they're called mando, and their stuffing would be consist of, obviously they also use pork and they also use cabbage a lot. They use cabbage a lot. And
right. Yeah.
But they also would put in the glass noodle, like I said. So in China, the stuffing, when they use glass noodle, they would include scrambled egg. Scrambled egg, glass noodle, sliced carrots. So it makes it very colorful and look very nice.
Yeah.
My mom's like, if you go to our hometown, her hometown, Chaozhou, those of you who are in my class this week, you are reading about Chinese tea ceremony from Chaozhou.
That's cool.
So if you are eating dumplings from Chaozhou, the skin of the dumpling is made of fish meat.
Oh, that's interesting. So like the skin, is it like blended in with the rest of the dough? Like how is this? Is it just like a piece of skin?
It's very delicate. It's very hard to make.
Wow.
You have the patient of if you have had fish bowl before, you would know that came from beating up the fish meat. So they basically use the fish paste in mixed with flour in order to make the fish skin.
Wow.
So
it sounds very delicate.
Just imagine how delicate that would be. So that's definitely a very southern, because in the south you have, right?
That makes sense. There's one other question, and then maybe it's time to switch over to interview time.
Yeah.
So one more.
他们要准备 interview， 你收到了吗？准备收到。So
we can.
Mrs. Kuang, thank you.
Mrs. Kuang, thank you.
Mrs. Kuang, chat.
Seriously, Mrs. Kuang, thank you so much. Master Chef Mom.
Master Chef Mom.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Yeah. There's the final question is for the stuffing. Is it more of like dicing or more mincing? Like how small do you chop everything up?
We would want grind meat.
You want very ground, very chopped.
Yeah, I would say it's easier so they don't fall apart.
Yeah.
And remember, there's a little bit of cornstarch in there in order to hold them together.
Yes.
Obviously, you can also, an alternative would be you can add egg in there if you are
egg.
adding that. So it really depends on what stuffing you're making. For instance, going back, I do field work in Northwest China where they consume mostly beef and lamb. So for beef and lamb, the vegetable that goes in there are onion, not scallion, onion.
Got it. Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
So it's very closely related to the similar type you find in Central Asia. Geographic. Once again, geographic reasons.
Well, which is so cool because it shows you how much, even though it's like the same food, how much the specific area you're from and what you can grow there makes it into the dishes. I mean, and obviously that changes with, technology and global, food access, whatever. But like, that it's cool that there are still some traditions that are like, because we live closer to a place that does this type of agriculture, whatever.
Or because we live closer to a place with like more like Muslim people, we're going to be lamb and not pork.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're into pork. Yeah, that makes sense.
Of course, the hot dog scholar thinks of that.
Or not pork, but yeah.
Well, they have, so that's interesting. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned in one of my articles, I don't think I have my students read this semester, but those from my last semesters probably have read my article on Chinese food media. But where I do my research, there's a lot of Muslim populations. And therefore, you do not actually find McDonald's in that region. You find KFC.
Chicken. That makes a lot of sense.
Same in India.
Because of the product that they curating to the population they're serving.
Cool. Well, why don't we take maybe 2 minutes and we'll switch the cameras around and we'll close our game. 5 minutes? Okay.
Daisy and I can talk for 5 minutes. Yeah.
We can. Dom and I are going to talk. Yeah. And you can get the table, or whatever you'd like to do to set up for the interview.
Yeah, I probably need to move closer to the.
Yeah. Because it'll pick up.
You are. It's okay. We're figuring it out.
Hey,
that was so awesome.
Guess
yeah.
what we have? We have a other than I might eat. I saved some dumplings that I had at dinner because I had to have noodles and dumplings. I was just like, I knew what I was going to be into.
So
but I might need to eat the rest of my dumplings after the stream.
After
Because,
this, yeah.
dang, I am jonesing.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I feel so fortunate that like I know everybody's so mad they don't have dumplings.
Exactly.
I feel everybody's the chat specifically celebrating Mrs. Kuang. I know this is so
Mrs. Kuang,
sweet.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel,
Mrs.
I feel
Kuang
like so
ruled.
fortunate for this opportunity. Like what a special time.
This was oh my god. And we get those recipes.
Have meaning on many levels. Making quilts helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working my way out of the labyrinth.